just that. And it's going to be Sivir in that matchup. And also the Vex versus the Ahri. So the objective for Dundeeznuts here is quite clear. They are built for team fights. Vex does not have to be the primary engage, and that is where she really thrives as a champion. She doesn't want to be the first choice of engage. She works best as a follow-up when the tanks fire their ultimate abilities, their initiation. And we'll see how active Dundeeznuts will be in this level 1. Will they try to do something? Try to go for some kind of invade early on, or will it just be a 5-stack and they just meet Psycho but Sweet halfway? It looks like that is exactly what's going to happen.
30 seconds until minions.
No aggressive movements from Dundeeznuts in the level 1. So now it all comes down to the junglers, really. How much can Ares affect? How much of a map can Ares affect before Karthus hits critical mass with these items? Just full clear after full clear after full clear. Volibear needs to be a lot more active in order to win this matchup. He's going to start blue, which doesn't surprise me. Pathing towards that bot side where he does have a gank set up from a Maokai. And he will receive the leash as well, which is something that Psycho but Sweet should have information of, because Ornn will show up late to lane. But on the other side, Dundeeznuts should also be aware of the fact that Karthus started on his blue buff as well. Early level 1 trades, both electrocutes just proc right there. This should be a hotly contested battle for lane priority in the mid lane early on. Though if Vex focuses on just wave clear, then she doesn't have as much threat in terms of damage. You kind of want to hold your fear to get these really good trades, and yeah, that was a pretty good trade from Weebly just now. Dundeeznuts are also going to get an okay trade in the bot lane. Ares has already finished his blue side of the jungle, now working towards the Raptors. Psycho but Sweet has noticed him once again doing the Raptors. Nicely placed ward by the mid laner, I assume. But even then, it's not like Psycho but Sweet are under threat. They are actually being pushed in by Dundeeznuts. And it doesn't really feel like they want to go aggressive at any point inside of this lane. At least until level 6, and then you can start working with something. But here comes the first gank of the game, and it's Vikarvis ganking first, as his friendship has to burn Flash to avoid that last lay waste. And Ozinox tries to take advantage of the Ornn's wave positioning there. That almost turned into a kill. Now he's going to go back to mid. Had some extra time to do one more gank before his camps spawn back up. Pretty good efficiency so far. On the other side, Ares didn't really find opportunities to do anything. Perhaps not through any fault of his own, really. But yeah, it doesn't really change the fact that with his first clear, Karthus has come unharmed out of the situation. Also burned Flash into the enemy top laner. So that is certainly a net positive for Psycho but Sweet in this early game so far. Ares still trying to fish for something, but the wave is just in the right spot for Psycho but Sweet. And Ares is going to finish that recall, finding nothing. Dundeeznuts is already finishing those raptors, going really fast through those camps. $40 CS already. And that gives him Lost Chapter on his first base. Very nice power spike for him right there. And obviously, the longer the game goes, the scarier Harvest becomes. Not only the items, but also the Dark Harvest stacks. The fact that death timers become longer, so any kind of multi-man kill from a Requiem has harsher and harsher consequences for the enemy team. Now Volibear is going to try a gank on the Nasus. Nasus already popping that Ghost. But it does look like we're going to have that counter gank in the top lane. Apologies. Dundeeznuts in the right place at the right time. Ares trying to get first blood here, but will be denied quite effortlessly by Dundeeznuts. But here comes another skirmish. Looks like we're not done. Black Hole Mid has priority over Weebly, so they have to be careful here. They don't want to step too far forward and get punished by the Ahri, who is already placed inside of a river. Okay, Pause is just going to help with the push and steal some XP on top. That's what a Karthus does. And the Karthus is just going to find 3 raptors along the way. Ares is late to his camps, and he's going to find it stolen, I'm afraid. Yes, it will go to Dundeeznuts, so the advantage in CS is building up, and the early game jungler is not being successful with his ganks or with his pressure. But, you know, there's still some time for the Volibear to get things going. You can still stack breaks, you can still help your team. It's not the end of the world here. But here comes the aggressive initiation from Vilestorm on the Maokai. Burns his flash to get something going, but yeah, there's not nearly enough damage to finish off that kill. Sivir is not quite there yet with the items. But that Summoner Burn could mean that it gets abused in the future, and it also unlocks the Dragon Take for Dundeeznuts. First one of the game. It will not be contested. Psycho but Sweet have other plans in mind. As I suspected, they won't be contesting for these early Drakes. I don't feel like that's what they want to do in the early game. They have the Karthus, who's slowly but surely getting ahead of his jungle counterpart, and that is the most important thing right now for the team. And you also have the Nasus, who's having a pretty calm laning phase. Not really being punished in any capacity. You have the additional sustain from brute footwork. There's no danger. Here comes the slow from the Nasus. Karthus with the follow-up, but I don't think you can kill Ornn when he's that close to the turret. Black Hole Mid, though, looking for that solo kill. Won't quite find it, will not commit fully with the Spirit Rush. But it's getting a little bit dangerous. Psycho but Sweet, even though they have scaling components, they feel brazen enough to go for these little fights and skirmishes and try to eke out more advantages. Here comes another 1v1 though in the top lane. SS Friendship. Is he going to get the kill? No, he won't! Ozzynox looking for the first blood of the game with that Requiem, but it will not kill. And that is a very long cooldown that the Carpus just burned trying to get the kill. It is understandable. You want to take any good chance that you can find, but that is going to hurt a little bit. That obviously also relieves the other lanes of that additional pressure that the Requiem can often create. You have to pose the question here for Dundeeznuts, where do you make the next play? Should potentially be the bot lane, but with Janna having flash, as well as heal, as well as that ultimate, it is quite hard to get things going. Even though Jaina Proudmoore does not have that flash back up yet, Volibear coming in for the gank does not really guarantee success. Jaina Proudmoore actually going for Immortal Shieldbow instead of Kraken Slayer, so it will not be the max damage option. I assume the rationale here is Karthus should take care of basically everything come late game with Liandry's Torment and the additional 10 items. Here comes a potential gank from Ares, just like we thought. It's going to target a bot lane, but it's nicely disengaged by Psycho but Sweet's bot lane. Monsoon from Janna did not even need to be used there. And Black Hole mid is trying to get something on the counter. Will he get anything? But Charm lands onto the Sliver, very nicely placed. It's first blood for Psycho but Sweet. Are there going to be any more kills on the follow-up? Black Hole mid with the additional Spirit Rush. Vilestorm falls dangerously low but will not die. Woke wasn't engaged by Dundeeznuts, turned on its head. But here it comes, the gank on the other side from Dundeeznuts, and they are going to get the kill on the Nasus. Weebly takes the gold for himself. It's 1-for-1 on the scoreboard, but another charm from Black Hole mid! This is the Ahri that we were talking about. He is popping off in the bot lane, and he is making his presence known inside of Game 1. The roams are dangerous from the Ahri. Always, you have to be cognizant of the threat. And in the meantime, Karthus is getting all that CS, because why not? Highest CS in the game, as he should. This is very much business as usual for the Karthus in the jungle. If you're not highest CS in the game, what are you even doing? You're not farming fast enough or hard enough. And Dundeeznuts will try to get that second dragon with the tempo. But will Psycho but Sweet be able to do anything about this? They will contest. The bot lane's there. Karthus has arrived. Black Hole mid is here too. Dundeeznuts get the dragon, but now they have to retreat potentially. The first kill for Psycho but Sweet already coming in. It is a 1-for-1 though. Ares falls, however. 2-for-1 for Psycho but Sweet. Requiem from the Karthus will not get any more. Dundeeznuts get the neutral objective, but Psycho but Sweet get the additional kills. And this bot lane matchup is favoring Psycho but Sweet right now with these additional kills for sure. And also Black Hole mid is definitely going to be a nuisance come mid game. You could argue he already is, with all that attention spent bot lane. Weebly choosing to go towards top lane on the other side, but Ornn is not exactly a hard carry in that sense. Having him ahead obviously is very beneficial, because the faster you get to level 13 and further, you get the additional benefits of upgraded items, which constitute additional value in terms of gold. Sometimes it's, you know, people say it's roughly 1,000 gold, but in the case of some mythics, it can be even more than that. The value of some mythics with the Ornn upgrades, it gets quite ridiculous. So even though Psychopath Suite have the scaling, you could argue Dundeeznuts have some scaling components as well. Dundeeznuts contesting from a Scuttle Crab, but this is very dangerous. Has to flash away. Shadow Surge, though, is going to find the kill. And this was Karthus definitely overstaying his welcome. Black Hole mid, not quite landing the flash as he wanted. It is a 1-for-1, however. Weebly will be punished. And we'll see what Psychopath Suite can get here with the pressure that we are creating. The tower is almost down. Ares still in the top side of the river. Maybe starting that... Yeah, he's going to start up that Rift Herald, potentially. Jungler's dead, mid lane's in base. Yep, it is just going to be a Rift Herald start right here, as his friendship also has priority. So it should be a fairly easy takedown. So a little bit of chaos introduced there by Dundeeznuts, which does help them a little bit. But the gold lead still remains for Psychopath Suite. And now Maokai is just kited to oblivion. Didn't have flash, was almost dead there. Ozzynox once again. Psychopath Suite contesting for the Rift Herald. How much can they get done here realistically? Turns out they can get a lot. It is a 2-for-1 again. And Money Man Flacco is on to Weebly. He does not have flash. The Wyvern is going to come in. It should be an easy kill. The Charm denies a Blast Cone. Very nicely placed from Black Hole mid. And Psychopath Suite, it looks like they're back in business. They're back to that old form. The gameplay was not quite there versus CFFC. You could feel like some players have just not risen up to the occasion. But now, this first game versus Dundeeznuts, they are looking rejuvenated and ready to get back to where they belong. The grand final. Well, where they belong, at least in their opinion, I should add, because, you know, Dundeeznuts do want to get to the grand finals as well. Perhaps their ambitions are even greater in that sense. They really want to prove to everyone that they are indeed the top dog, and they have been underestimated by everyone. But right now it's Psychopath Suite with a very, well, maybe not very big, but definitely a significant advantage. In the 18th minute of this game. Here comes another fight though. Mouth is caught out of position, but the Shadow Surge will not land where Dundeeznuts wanted it to land. And it is quite an important cooldown as we're looking towards this third Drake of the game. Dundeeznuts will not have Shadow Surge or Call of the Forge God with no kills on either side. And this means Psychopath Suite can counterattack, and here it comes! The initiation, Money Man Flacco 1v5ing essentially, not really getting anything done, but he survives through the Monsoon healing! He keeps his own butt alive right there, and here come the resets. Black Hole mid going forward with no hesitation, even more kills coming in. Valstorm is also going to fall. And the team fighting is so crisp from Psychopath Suite. Pulling the trigger at exactly the right time. Dundeeznuts misfiring before that, and they paid a price for it. Psychopath Suite stopped the dragon stacking, and their gold advantage has grown even more. And now, the additional reward is going to be the mid-turret as well. Not quite at the 20th minute mark just yet, so there is no chance for a Baron play, but the way things are going, the angle definitely could present itself. And Psycho but Sweet with Leandri's Anguish on the Karthus, and you know, just Karthus damage in general. Their Baron take should be reasonably fast, and this is something that Dundeeznuts have to keep in mind. Going a few minutes into the future here. 4 versus Nasus. Not a lot happening here, but as I say that, S's Friendship will try to go for it, but Nasus just pops the ultimate, and there's no way you can match that kind of damage. Dundeeznuts are there to assist S's Friendship though, in case Moneyman Flacco decides to go for something more, and perhaps he will do so. But now Black Hole Mid is on the scene, and what an enchanted crystal arrow from Jaina Proudmoore. The Requiem coming in too, and it is just going to be a kill. Maybe even a second one. S's Friendship dangerously low under the turret. Moneyman Flacco still has to push out the wave though. Ares is close by as well. Black Hole Mid, he will probably have to burn Flash just to stay alive, but you take a look at mid lane as Vilestorm is just going to get caught out. The slow on the Ashe auto attacks. It really means that once Maokai goes in, there's no way out. And Psycho and Sweet continue to put on a stranglehold on this map. Black Hole Mid quite low on health, but he still wants to go for this dive, looks like. They're trying to go for it. No Spirit Rush just yet. But the charm lands though. They just need one more Siphoning Strike to do it, but they can't go for it. They decide it's not worth the risk. It's very close to being another kill for Psycho but Sweet right there. Max Grips having to burn on the hunt just to stay alive. The Ashe slow plus Shirelia's, that is a dangerous combination. It is very hard to run away from. When you look at these fights, it really feels like Dundeeznuts can't really afford to be caught out of position, because the consequences can be, yeah, they can be harsh for them. Psycho but Sweet have designed a comp where they can just pick out one person at a time. Once Ashe gets an auto attack range, someone like Maokai or Volibear can't really run away effectively without burning some major cooldowns. Still 1 minute until the Infernal Drake. Dundeeznuts have come to the objective early. They will try to maintain mid priority. Essentially 5 men inside of the Dragon Pit. This is quite early, which allows Psycho but Sweet to get that additional pressure on the towers. Dundee really wants to get the Drake, but at what cost will it come, really? As it's only Ornn and Maokai right now on the engage. Dundeeznuts a little bit late with a follow-up, but here it comes though. Jaina Proudmoore in a lot of trouble. It will be the first kill for Dundeeznuts, but how much can Black Hole Mid do on the other side? He gets completely denied by the dash from the Ornn. And Ares wants to get his comeuppance, but here comes the Nasus. Dundeeznuts, they don't want that smoke. They're trying to run away from the Nasus. Leandri's Torment won't burn entirely through that Ornn's health bar. But it does create a potentially dangerous situation now for Dundeeznuts. Will they be able to get this dragon? Nasus pops a ghost. He goes onto the backline. Ares has to peel, but his health bar is running dangerously low. Here comes the TP on the other side. Moneyman Flacco now isolated. He's going to die, but not before he takes the kill. This is going to delay the dragon as well. Can Dundeeznuts still take it? They're quite hesitant on this front. They don't have the smite anymore. Here comes Ozzy Nox. Does feel like they will just retreat. and Psycho but Sweet have fought hard for this dragon, and it does look like they will take it for themselves. Although, Dundeeznuts are not willing to let this one go just yet, as his friendship, his Call of the Forge God cooldown is coming up. He's in a very good spot right here. Just has to... But, oh no, he's being zoned out by Black Hole Mid. Will he be able to press R even? Not quite. Dundeeznuts, helpless on the other side, trying to run away. On the hunt is popped for that movement speed. They will get away. But man, Psycho but Sweet, fighting so valiantly for that second Infernal Drake, and they finally get it. Very well played from the entire team right there, not willing to give up the objective. Recognizing that there's a lot of strength inside of this team, even though they're not really fighting in the best possible situation. It was a little bit scattered, it was chaotic, but Moneyman Flacco on the Nasus bought a lot of time for the team. Oh, but enough about Nasus, let's look at Ari though. 8-1 and 5, Black Hole Mid. The first all-pro mid laner is playing at his prime once again. Now Weebly will be forced to stopwatch. Requiem popped by the Carpus, but that wasn't nearly close enough to secure a kill. Psycho but Sweet still looking for more though. Now we have 4 champions grouping mid, and Dundeeznuts not quite ready to capitalize on that. Although Black Hole Mid perhaps overextending for that play. How much can Dundeeznuts get done? Nasus gets killed off on the backline, though now Psycho but Sweet are kiting quite well. The Vex will die. Ares does not have the access to the backline. Max Crisp gets a little bit close to the cold arrows of Ashe. And Maokai tries to help, but he will not do a thing. Jaina Proudmoore on this Ashe feels like he's almost untouchable. Both mid and ADC positions for Psycho but Sweet, playing to the level that we are accustomed to. And Dundeeznuts, I imagine they were feeling confident before this series started, but now, how will their mental state hold up after this first game of the series? Because these are pretty hard punches that they're receiving from Psycho but Sweet, and the 10,000 gold lead is not making things any better. Now finally, with the map opened up, Psycho but Sweet can look towards that Baron, try to make a play. Nasus is already situated on the bot lane. The perfect place to be in, really, when your team is trying to fight for Baron. If you're the split pusher. But here comes Psycho but Sweet, they're trying to fight. Jaina Proudmoore, though, a little bit too close to the sun. Don't want your wings to fall off there. But they will stay safe with the Janna Monsoon. Black Hole Mid still looking for something with the Spirit Rush, but will not find it. As his friendship, not quite seen by Psycho but Sweet, now they will recognize his position. I think it's nice that Psycho but Sweet are trying to push the pace of the game still with the lead that they have, but I feel like that wasn't quite the opportunity that they were looking for. This does buy Dundeeznuts that additional time, maybe. Ornn has finished his first mythic upgrade. It is going to go towards Vex. The Everfrost has become Eternal Winter. More AP, more health, more of the good stuff. But now, both teams' attention has turned to the dragon. It is important to keep in mind that this dragon won't give Infernal Soul, but it will give soul points to either team. And let's see how far Psycho the Sweet are willing to go for this. Oh, Carpus! Carpus steals it, Ozzynox with the Dragon Steel. The Dragon Stealer is back in business. And Psycho but Sweet are stopping this fight as well. No kills for Dundeeznuts whatsoever. Valstorm turning tail, but he will not survive, and neither will Ares. It's a clean ace for Psycho but Sweet. This game is all but over. They don't even need Baron buff. They will just go towards the base. They have more than enough time to finish this one off. And what a performance from Psycho but Sweet. The top 2 team in the regular season has finally shown what they're capable of. 100% capacity. And this kind of team, Dundeeznuts will have to find that additional strength to try and pull through here, because this is a tough opponent to beat. Alright, so that is a hard pivot from Dundeeznuts. We begun with a Caitlyn Lux, very much centered around Siege. Also some poke, really just trying to keep the pedal to the metal in the early stage and then transition towards just taking tower after tower. But now, Dundeeznuts going really hard on the engage potential with Diana, Yasuo, and Ornn. No interruptions this time, going straight into the second game.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
Yeah, overall, I really like the fact that we're getting so many new champions in this second draft. Yasuo is certainly a first for Dundeeznuts. Wouldn't really expect that from Weebly. Ozzynox on his signature Lilia at this point. This is one of his best champions. Has already played a bunch of it in past seasons. Going as far back as Season 4 on the Invictus, already a Lilia menace. And you have to imagine he's just even better with the added experience. I really feel like Dundeeznuts with these drafts, both of these drafts, they have their work cut out for them here. The engages have to be extra crisp from the Diana and the Yasuo. I feel like the jungler has to be in a good enough spot to guarantee the fights going their way, and also Caitlyn Lux not really matching what the kind of vibe that Diana and Yasuo are trying to go for. So it could just be about individual performances more so than the synergy between champions. Right now, it is Dundeeznuts winning out on those early game trades as expected into bot lane. Now this kind of trend is going to continue for quite some time. Both junglers deciding to clear. Well, no, Diana actually didn't go for Krugs. It's just 5 camps compared to Lilia's 6. Lilia's going to end up at Scuttle Crab a little bit late, but that's perfectly fine because the junglers are clearing opposite sides anyway. Heavy trading going on in the top lane. 20-man Flacco going quite low, but it is controlled aggression from both sides here. Early action in the mid lane here. Ares trying to look for something, but it will be answered quickly by Ozinox on the other side. And the junglers will quickly go in their separate directions, but psych! Ares is coming in for another gank. Ares is committing to this play, but now he has to disengage with his E, but the fear is already back up for Black Hole mid in its first blood. Ares, too overzealous on that play, baits in his mid laner, and it is an early advantage for the Vex in this matchup. Jungle mid has to be on point in order for Dundeeznuts to succeed here, and this is their first setback inside of Game 2. SS Friendship losing out on these early trades. Although he did get some damage back in return here. Not bad. 20-man Flacco really fighting hard to get this wave pushed into the tower. Dana Proudmoore and Mouth, despite this unfavorable matchup, are doing just fine inside of the lane. Not really falling too far behind in CS. Exactly the kind of thing you want to see if you're Cyclo the Sweet. Ooh, nice deadly flourish here, followed by a handshake from Mouth. It is a good trade, but now the light binding comes in from Vilestorm, and it's just going to be a 2v2 kill for Dundeeznuts. Dana Proudmoore does not have the cleanse, so it is just going to be a fairly easy kill. Weebly now going for the aggressive trades, but Black Hole mid responding in kind. Uh-oh. It is a trade of ultimates in the top lane. Call of the Forge God trying to kill off the Scion, but he escapes in time. But now, Vilestorm, so on point with these light bindings. Catches out another victim. And Dundeeznuts doing work in the early game. It's not coming from the jungle mid combo. Right now it's the bot lane that is playing quite well, but focus on the support mainly here. Vilestorm is actually going to opt for max damage on this Lux. Lost chapter already completed. Now Black Hole mid in trouble. Shadow Surge is going to be used, but all for naught. It was a 2v1 that Black Hole mid had no business escaping. This is already a much better start for Dundeeznuts. Had some doubts after that first 2v2 skirmish, but they're quickly back on the right course here. Big trading still in the top lane. Moneyman Flacco and SS Friendship going at it as hard as they can, but no kills just yet. I feel like the junglers will have to influence this lane before anyone falls. for the top lane. The bot lane is where Psycho but Sweet still have to remain vigilant. Lux with plenty of damage. Maxing that losing singularity. Light Binding connects now. Renata Glass in a bit of trouble. Malp has to use his ultimate just for the disengage factor. It is going to do some damage, but not quite enough to force Master Crisp and Valstorm out of the lane. First Dragon still on the table for both teams. Oh, Ozzynox, level 7, has the ultimate. This is where things could turn around for Psycho but Sweet. Drowsy onto Valstorm, they will get that kill. Shutdown lands onto Jaina Proudmoore, the exact person you want to have that shutdown on, and the double kill as well. Ozzynox, the gank timing is just right. They will now transition towards the Drake. Ares is already on blue buff, but he is isolated here. He does not even have help from his mid laner. This is just going to be First Dragon going the way of Psycho but Sweet. Oh, Ares, not done yet! You get a shutdown? Well, I get a shutdown as well. Ares, with an opportunistic play, finds his mark. Very nicely done. And gold lead swings a little bit in favor of Dundeeznuts again. They really need Ares to be on the right trajectory. And that kill certainly helps. Some more fighting in the mid lane though. Black Hole mid really trying to get something out of these trades, but he has to be careful. Because here comes Ares for the gank. Both fights happening both in mid and top. Essence Friendship just misses his Call of the Forge God completely, but it won't stop him from going further into this trade. And it is going to force out the Unstoppable Onslaught. Here comes Black Hole mid though, in the mid lane. Shadow Surge plus Ignite plus all of the damage from the other abilities. And it is just a solo kill. Black Hole mid, once again. Being the difference maker in the mid lane. I'm gonna get that played as well for good measure. And we question how good Weebly is going to be in this matchup. Right now, it's not really looking all too well. We have to keep in mind that Vex is designed to keep champions like Yasuo in check. But still, this is not quite up to the level that is required, I think. I guess if Yasuo falls behind like this, then Diana can easily pick up the slack. Ozzynox still looking for something. Built-in Lullaby already back off cooldown. Uh-oh. Hostile takeover. Renata Glass hits both bot laners. And Malp takes that one for himself. Weebly trying to get there on the roam along with Ares, but they will find absolutely nothing on the play. And Psycho but Sweet now back with a gold lead. Ares still looking, waiting patiently, but he's not going to get his reward, it looks like. Moving further and further down the lane, but he will be spotted.
Time's up.
They just decide to shut out the lane and look for something else later down the line. Ozinox doing some counter jungling in the meantime on the other side. Yasuo trying to intercept, but buddy, you're in a 2v1 situation, and this is not where you want to be at this point in time. SS Friendship trying to help his teammate, but oh man, this is all just going completely wrong for Dundeeznuts. Yasuo is already dead. Ornn could not do a thing in this spot, and he's going to fall as well. Ares could not do a damn thing about that one. This is just Dundeeznuts disrespecting their opponents. Oh, Ares could find a kill here. Oh, but Ozinox is here with the counter gank. And that is already a lot of damage onto the Diana. Will not even find a kill. Instead, it's Ozinox who lands kill number 3 of this game. And Ares, that first 5 minutes of the game, that did look good, but now it's starting to fall apart a little bit. Because now we're going to see the Jhin and Renata bot lane finally answering back to all the pressure that Caitlyn and Lux were generating. Can they get a kill in reply? Jhin will fall even after the bailout, so it's a 1-for-1 situation here. Weebly has to escape. Still losing out on these trades. And this is where Psycho but Sweet are well positioned once again for the dragon. Max Crisp really playing fast and loose here on the Caitlyn, almost getting caught out by the Lilia. The escapes just barely. Ozinox is not done here. Lilting Lullaby onto Diana. And oh my goodness, the Scion follow-up is devastating. Ornn and Yasuo combo on the other side, however. They will get a kill, but Vex will get one as well. It's a 2-for-2 right now. But it could very well be 3-for-2 very soon, and now it's 4. The exact kind of number that Jhin likes the most. 4 kills to his name, and now the dragon is certainly going to be Psycho but Sweets. They get another one on the board. And Ares has already conceded the fact that the dragon is not going to be contested. First turret going the way of Psycho but Sweet as well. Dundeeznuts trying to find their chances, but the blows are just not landing. And sometimes when they try to attack, it's Psycho but Sweet with the right counter. And we all know how devastating counter gank can be. SS Friendship getting caught up in all that CC. Everfrost as a follow-up as well. You are Ornn, but if you're getting hit by 4 people, it doesn't matter how much health you have. Eventually, you will just fall down. SS Friendship is not really having a good one this game. Psycho but Sweet considering some more pressure in the mid lane. They will just keep things going. Ozinox trying to land a cheeky skill shot on the back there. Will not get much. But they do get the top lane turret, as SS Friendship is still in the death chamber. So playing on multiple fronts, very nicely done from Psycho but Sweet. Continuing that pressure, even after taking the dragon. Nice light binding though from Wildstorm, and finally a sign of life from Dundeeznuts. Wildstorm gets another pick off. And we're going to need a lot more of these. Lux is well positioned to do a lot of damage inside of his game. I feel like Wildstorm is the one player that Dundeeznuts could rely on to get back into this game. Now we see a pause, which should be a short one. Yeah, I feel like both teams have already figured out the problem, and we can just get back into the game. Some more trading in the top lane, but now with Sion having completed that hull breaker, it does skew those trades in his favor. Now Dundeeznuts bot lane has to be careful. The lilting lullaby is always a threat, and then obviously the Vex follow-up. It's very easy. All the Black Hole mid has to do after the sleep lands is just press Shadow Surge exactly where the stationary target remains. And that's how you get fights going. Wildstorm positioning about as aggressively as he possibly can, but the lilting lullaby from Ozmox out into two of the backline targets. Very nicely placed, and what accuracy by Jane and Proudmore on these shots. Could even get another one, but Ares will get away. And Psycho but Sweet once again having the upper hand with these skirmishes. Dundeeznuts trying to create pressure in the mid lane desperately, but they keep getting punished for it. Now it finally will result in a mid lane turret going down. Wildstorm trying to clear vision, but he doesn't know what is about to come. And that burst is deadly, but Wildstorm doesn't actually fall down, and instead is Black Hole mid that's now in trouble. Good turnaround from Dundeeznuts. That will slow things down a bit, but there's still 50 seconds until the dragon, so plenty of time for Psycho but Sweet to regroup and find an opening. Funnyman Flacco already joining his team. They will fight for vision and river positioning. The important factor here for Dundeeznuts is they have all the Forge God and Moonfall for this fight specifically. So Psycho but Sweet have to choose their battles carefully. They will not want to group too hard in one position. As you can see, they're really careful when it comes to approaching this objective. Right now it's Dundeeznuts, but it's actually Silent who will engage first, and onto the backline goes Yasuo, but the fear for Black Hole mid turns things around completely. It looked like such a good engage for Dundeeznuts, but Renata plus Vex. Such amazing denial on their side. And Psycho but Sweet clean ace on that fight. That was perfect execution. And Dundeeznuts just do not pull the trigger in coordination. Psycho but Sweet disengage so well. They will take the full prize. They will take dragon inhibitor turrets.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
any kind of turret they really wish for. They can take it. And this is just the disengage mentality working so well versus the engage that the Dundeeznuts have drafted for themselves. The clash in playstyles once again working in the favor of Psycho but Sweet, as it does feel like we're about to close a chapter on another team in UNL Season 6. Dundeeznuts, this is probably their last chance to turn things around, as it is now quite dire on the scoreboard. 3 dragons to 0, 6,000 gold lead. The Jhin is well ahead of the Caitlyn. And the Diana does not hit as hard as you would like. Weebly in a lot of trouble. He wants to go further, but he does not even have the last breath as a follow-up. And this is just completely out of sorts for Dundeeznuts. Black hole mid, suicides for that play, but it's still a 2-for-1 in favor of Psy. And this could just be more objectives on the menu right here. They will not go for Baron, but now it looks like they are rotating towards that objective. But they will take their time. Perhaps they don't feel like the damage is quite there for them to take it outright. Clearing vision, but now they will just start it. It does create a situation in which Ares can potentially be the hero, try to steal the objective. How huge would this be for Dundeeznuts if they can steal the objective away? It will not happen, however. Psycho but Sweet get the smite. And I fear that this is the death knell for Dundeeznuts. I really feel like Ares, even though obviously if you go for this kind of play, you most likely die. I feel like it still has to be made in a position like this, where a Baron buff taken by Psycho but Sweet basically seals the game. SS Friendship trying to withstand the assault. Here comes Ares with the gank. But how fast can they kill the Scion while Yasuo is just being one-shot? It is a 1-for-1 trade. They stop the push on one side, but we will most likely lose another turret for it. Or maybe even 2, depending on how fast can Psycho but Sweet get with this push. Not having that Scion for the fight is quite big, however, so I imagine Psycho but Sweet will take it easy for now. Just wait until that death timer comes back up, and then they can start moving once again. Though Ares has to be careful when clearing vision. The fear will land, but not much more than that. Still a 10,000 gold lead for Psycho but Sweet. The landscape has not changed. Yasuo is still working towards that Infinity Edge, so far behind compared to Vex and Valilia. As I've mentioned before, it's mostly just Diana doing the upfront damage here. As well as Lux, perhaps, if they can coordinate those ultimates. 20 seconds until the next dragon. Psycho but Sweet do not have to commit to this. They could just continue the pressure with the Baron. Ozzynox going real deep. Still has the flash, so he could run away. He's so fast, though. Oh, but the three-man moonfall from Dundeeznuts. I don't feel like Psycho but Sweet really wanted to stay around for this one. They will get punished. It is finally a teamfight win, but look at what's happening on the other side of the map. Bunnyman Flacco is right in their base. Taking down the inhibitor turret. And maybe taking down the inhibitor as well, as Black Hole Mid and Mouth are trying to stop the recalls from happening. It's just Weebly defending the base. This inhibitor will fall. Yasuo does not have what it takes to stop this push. And now the Shadow Surge onto Vilestorm. So much damage from Black Hole Mid. The map is falling apart from Dundeeznuts. They quickly have to figure things out here. They will not get the pick on the Scion. It is crucial that they deny the soul here, but their options are running thin at this point. I don't think this is a fight that they are likely to get again. With the pressure that has now manifested topside, maybe Moneyman Flacco just decides to group with his team, and that will mean that it is that much harder to get a clean fight versus Psycho but Sweet here. Although, even without the Scion, there are still disengage tools at their disposal. Renata's hostile takeover obviously has been very, very valuable this game. Moneyman Flacco once again in trouble in a 1v2 situation, will get away as Psycho but Sweet set their sights on mid lane. Black Hole Mid looking for picks. He takes a Blast Cone, he will go in. Vilestorm forced to get the stopwatch. Wind Wall will block Shadow Surge. That will slow things down a little bit. It's not the best siege here from Psycho but Sweet. They rely a little bit on the Lilia landing the damage and then popping the ultimate in order to start something for their team. I feel like it is just quite hard to start taking objectives outright. Now Dundeeznuts once again in a situation where they could possibly force, and they will. Call of the Forge God lands, but yeah, the engage is just not very well coordinated from Dundeeznuts. Now Ares going in, but it is not followed up by Weebly. And that just means Ares goes pop without even using his Zonya's Hourglass. And that is a big, big death. That is a big death to concede if you're Dundeeznuts, as now the base is about to fall. The Nexus is in danger. How hard can they defend? The answer is they cannot defend at all. It's only the Yasuo and the Lux defending the base. This will not end well for Dundeeznuts. They can try all they like, but this is going to be a 2-0 series in the end. Can they even get a single kill? Yes, they can. Ares spawns just in time to see his Nexus fall to pieces. Psycho but Sweet kill off the dreams of Dundeeznuts.